Hello, friends. I'm Rita Boyer, educator at Prospect Presbyterian Church in Maplewood, New Jersey. And I'm so happy that you are joining me for the ConnectEd lesson for January the 16th. Have you ever been to a wedding? I haven't been attending as many weddings as usual these last 2 years because we're trying to stay away from really big parties. And most weddings have a big party attached to them. After the ceremony of the wedding, there's a big party called a reception, where people eat and drink and sometimes dance. Very often the food is served at buffet tables. You take your plate to a display of sometimes many tables with food on those tables, and you choose what you would like to put on your plate to eat. Well, I've been to a couple of weddings where after the main meal, there was another buffet. A candy buffet. How about that? Would you like that? Table after table of beautiful, brightly colored candy. And each guest was given a bag so that you could go along the candy buffet tables and choose as much candy as you wanted, whatever you wanted, and put in your bag. They were even saying, "Oh, take more. Here, take a couple of bags and take that candy home with you." Would you like that? Well, imagine that you are at a wedding party where there is a candy buffet, beautiful candy, tasty candy, and you're looking at it, thinking about what you are going to take to put in your bag, but you have to wait in line. And by the time you get up to the table, you hear someone saying, "Oh, they're running out of candy." Uh-oh, that wouldn't be good, would it? That would not be a fun end to the party. And it would be very embarrassing for the people who were hosting the party. Well, today we are hearing a Bible story about Jesus and his mother and his friends attending a wedding party. And they heard that the host was about to run out of something. Uh-oh. We'll have to listen to what it was they were going to run out of. The story comes from John chapter 2, the first 11 verses. I want to thank the people at Seasons of the Spirit for giving us permission to use their version of the story online. The story is called The Wedding Party. A big wedding party was going on in Cana, a town in Galilee, a town where Jesus grew up. Jesus' mother Mary was at the party. Jesus and his disciples were invited to the party too. Wedding parties in Jesus' day went on for more than a day. In fact, sometimes they lasted an entire week. So when drinks for the party ran out before the guests were ready to go home, well, it was a serious matter. Jesus, Mary, his mother, said, "They have no wine left for the people to drink." Well, in that time, people thought you couldn't have a party without wine. That was the main drink. They didn't have many other things to drink. Well, Jesus looked around. Along the wall stood 6 very large stone water containers. Jesus turned to the helpers. "Fill those jugs with water." The helpers shook their heads. What good will that do, they wondered. But Mary had said that they should do whatever Jesus told them to do. So they did. It took a while to fill such huge water jugs with water, but they filled them to the very top. Then Jesus said to the helpers, "Now dip out some of that water. Take it to the person in charge of food and drink." Helpers did. Well, as soon as the person tasted the water, he hurried to the bridegroom. "Everyone serves the best drinks first, but you have saved the very best wine until the last." The water had been changed into wine, a lot of wine, the very best wine they had ever tasted. Jesus' friends, the disciples, smiled at each other. They knew Jesus had done something wonderful. They knew Jesus was showing everyone God's generous love. I don't know about you, but I think it's fun to imagine Jesus being at a wedding party. We usually think of Jesus teaching, healing, maybe out on a boat with his friends. But this story shows that Jesus went to parties with his family and friends. Now, as we heard, wedding parties were big events that lasted about a week at that time. There was a lot of dancing. So I imagine that Jesus danced. Do you ever picture Jesus dancing? It was a big, fun party with lots of food and lots of drink, but it looked like they were going to run out of something. Do you remember what? Not candy, but wine. Well, if they had run out of wine, it would have been a huge embarrassment for the host. It would have been a disgrace. But Jesus did something amazing. He turned water into wine. And not just a little wine, but a lot. Those jars that they filled with water were huge. Well, people who know exactly how big they were have figured it out. And they say that there would have been nearly 1,000 bottles of the very best wine. 1,000 bottles? That's a lot. That's why it reminded me of the candy buffet. The host of the wedding that I attended could have given each guest a piece of candy at the end of the meal and said, "Take this home." That would have been nice. But it was more than nice. It was table after table of all kinds of candy. "Fill your bag," the host said. "Take a few bags. Take as much as you want." The candy wasn't going to run out, just like the wine that Jesus gave would not run out. Just like Jesus' love never runs out. You can find a shortened version of this story and a couple of printable activities at ppcfaithformation.org on the children's page. The Generous Love printable activities include instructions for making a heart flower bouquet. I hope that you'll have fun doing that. And also a coloring sheet. And you can see these huge jugs that they are filling with water in the front. Would you please pray with me? Loving and generous God, we give thanks for your love, a love that gives the very best and never runs out. Amen. Thanks for joining me. Have a great week, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.